Hi, and welcome to the SaVeg podcast.
I'm Rose, also known as Cheap Lazy Vegan on YouTube.
And I'm Daniel, one of your favorite guest stars on Cheap Lazy Vegan's YouTube channel.
We're two friends who love to talk about the latest trending topics.
So get comfortable and join us while we give our SaVeg take on just about everything.
You are currently listening to the previous episode of this podcast, but if you would like to listen to this week's episode and get some exclusive content, go over to patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. Oh, hi there. Is this too loud?
I think you're just like
okay, there you
talk really loud in yours.
Excuse me, that's so rude. Anyways. Okay. Hi, guys.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back to another episode of our podcast.
Yes.
Are we doing Patreon shoutouts?
Yes.
Let's do Patreon shoutouts first. Okay, guys. So once again, reminder: Patreon family is strong. We had a live session.
We did our first ever live stream.
I know. It was a technological failure.
Yeah. I mean, technically, if any of you guys happen to be live stream experts out there, can you just like maybe in the comment section tell us how to fucking live stream? Because
well, I mean, we still did it, but we just like couldn't use the sexy mics.
Yeah, we had an issue getting because when you use two mics, there's always an issue. Or
it's just us. When it's us,
could be.
There's always an issue. Yeah. So we had a bit of an issue, but it was still so much fun. So if you want to actually catch that live, which is no longer live, but it is available on our Patreon page, you can check it out at patreon.com/thesavagepodcast. The link is down below. And of course, you get a bunch of other perks, such as, Daniel, what are the perks?
You get all the episodes ad-free. And also, we do a Patreon exclusive episode every single month. So guys, it's like we've been doing Patreon for, well over a year. So there are so many good episodes on there. There's dating stories. There's Rose's freely video response.
Oh, god dang.
There's all kinds of stuff on there. So guys, check it out.
All right. And now we're going to go into
the Patreon shoutouts.
You also get a nice little shout out. Okay.
Yes.
So we're going to start with thanking Bonnie,
Sakayume,
and SM. Very mysterious.
I like the mysterious kind of names there.
Thank you guys so much for the support. And let's dive right into story number one.
Oh, are we just going to jump right into it?
We're jumping right in.
God damn, Rose, I want to catch up with you, but I guess we're just going to jump into it.
I've been chatting with you for 3 hours yesterday.
That's true. We did our August exclusive, and we also did our live stream.
And of course, we chatted as well.
And Rose is sick of chatting with me.
I'm not.
That's why she don't want to chat anymore.
Daniels, we got to get into the story.
That's true. But I was going to talk about how I'm excited about.
What are you excited about?
Pride's happening in like a little while.
Right. Is it in a couple weeks?
Yeah. So I think it's like now. I guess it's no longer like there's not like an official day. I don't think it's like Pride Week.
Is that how it is everywhere?
I think so. I think a lot of places have like extended it because there's so many festivities. There is so many festivities.
And the homosexuals love to party.
Well, this is one thing, guys. It's one thing if you want to learn something about homosexuals, including myself, we do love to party. I'm not gonna deny that. I don't know because
not that you are a homogenous group of people.
Exactly. Okay? Not that we are, because there are people within the LGBTQ plus community that are not partiers. But I do think it's funny because I've had many friends of mine that have like come with me to like gay bars and stuff.
Sure.
And they're always like, oh my God, Daniel, we love coming to the gay bars because everyone's just like out to have a good time. Everyone loves to party. And,
it's true. It is true. It is always a good time.
It's a good night,
Yeah. I don't know. What is different? I don't know.
You don't have like people trying to get in fights usually, or, you go to some of the bars. Like I remember when I used to go out and like sometimes like, and I'm being, again, generalist, but like some guys go out there to like start fights.
Right. You mean straight men?
Yes. Usually. I've never even heard of like a gay guy going to a club to start a fight.
Especially not at the gay club.
Exactly.
Like what's the point? There's no
point.
Why would they fight? If you're a gay man, you're at a gay bar, you're probably going to get some sex. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's angry at that.
No one is angry. I mean, you might get
whereas maybe straight guys are a little bit, it's a harder time for straight men in the clubs. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they don't get laid and then they get angry.
And they get sexually frustrated and then they take it out on another man by punching him. Apparently this is the way.
I like our theory. I think there's some truth to this statement.
Yeah, I think that there probably is. So I'm actually really excited, guys. I'm going to go to some events.
Oh God, are you going to drag me to the club?
Well, I invited you, but Rose said she didn't want to come with me. So.
Listen, I will go to the park festivities, but I don't know if I can promise a club attendance.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But we'll see. Yeah. I mean, for Pride, I might make an exception. For any other night, I don't like going to the club.
I think I like want to like, you know, I was thinking for one of the nights as well, just do like full glam makeup.
Can I put you in drag?
Yeah, not like full drag, but like I want my like face like,
oh my God,
done really glamorously.
I'm not very good at makeup though, so you might want to get someone else to do your makeup.
Damn, Rosie, you make your face look beautiful as hell.
Yeah, but I know how my face, you know, sits. You know, when I do someone else's makeup, you
can't see how my face sits right now. It's not
I
that
can see it. Trust me, it's a different canvas. You know, when you're an artist.
I don't have a great canvas. You saying I'm ugly?
I say you look like a man.
I'm not going to make a fishy woman.
You ain't fishy, okay?
Which is like also kind of an offensive term, but like yes. It's so funny.
Oh God. So Pride, that's very exciting. Maybe Daniel will find the love of his life.
Guys, it could happen for me.
Yes, I'm sending out all the good vibes.
Me too. Positive vibes out there.
Guys, send out the good vibes, okay? Yeah. Let's pray for Daniel's future partner.
I thought you were going to say something else in my sex life. But that's for a Patreon exclusive, guys.
Our Patreon is a little it's for an older audience.
It's a little bit unfiltered.
Oh my God, that reminds me of I don't know if you picked this up as a story, but have you heard of this?
What?
Do you know OnlyFans?
Oh my God, yes.
Did you hear about it?
I heard about it. I was gonna pull it up. We should just talk about it.
We should just talk because guys, it's shocking. Okay, guys, OnlyFans.
Our first story of the day. Rose?
If you haven't heard of OnlyFans, first of all, where have you lived? Where have you been?
Where have you been?
Is this your first time on the internet? Yeah. Let me know. Anyways, OnlyFans blew up over the past few years.
I mean, they're huge. Yeah. They are fucking huge.
Especially during the pandemic, people be bored. People be wanting some kind of, you know.
People be bored. People be horny. Remember
I wasn't gonna say those words.
But you remember that we read that article, or we were seeing that thing about how virginity in people is, especially in men, is increasing.
But that's in the last 10 years.
I know exactly. So people are getting horny.
The internet is an interesting place. So, anyways, it's a platform mainly used for sexual content.
Sexually transmitted diseases.
For sexual content.
Yeah.
Sexually explicit content.
It doesn't necessarily have to be pornography per se, but it's definitely like it's X-rated. So it's, you know, if I was to go on, if I all of a sudden took my shirt off, I would be on OnlyFans, wouldn't I?
Just your shirt, Daniel?
Just my shirt.
Okay. So there's a lot of creators actually like that are normally like YouTubers and stuff that actually started OnlyFans, and they started making a ton of money because, you know, they're posting like nudes and shit and fucking, you know, maybe doing more, you know, maybe it's full on pornography. Who knows?
Yeah. I think they also do like live streams. So maybe they're like, oh, you know, like, kind of like, what do they call them? Cam girls?
Oh, cam girls, maybe a little bit.
So a little bit of that on
you know, maybe somebody throws them some money, and then you be taking off more clothing.
Exactly, they live stream, and then someone donates them $1,000, and then they're like, woo. Could happen, you know.
Oh God,
I think
you're killing me today, Daniel.
Feels,
yeah, I mean, I'm sure it does happen. I'm sure it does. So
what's the story, Rose?
The story is the story is it's actually kind of insane, but now they're saying that they are now banning sexually explicit content starting October 1st. I think it was October 1st.
Something like this. Yeah. I think.
Which is absolutely crazy, which basically means they no longer be existed.
Exactly. Because the thing is, the reason that OnlyFans became so big is for their sexually explicit content.
Literally the only reason. Like, it's like saying Pornhub saying they're no longer doing porn.
So as the founder of Pornhub, I've decided that I'm branching out, and we're going to continue calling ourselves Pornhub, but there's going to be no porn on there. It's just going to be a hub.
I mean, here's the thing. They can probably, you know, I'm sure they can change their business model a little bit.
Yeah.
But it would be very interesting to see how that would turn out, because it's kind of like, it could be kind of like Patreon, right? So Patreon is kind of like a similar thing, but without all the sex.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, okay, so then how are you going to differ from Patreon? Because I don't know. And there's plenty of platforms that kind of do something similar, like a membership.
Yeah. Where they help creators.
What was the reason? It was something about banks.
Well, no, this is what happened. So I guess, and I don't have the article in front of me, guys, so I don't remember the full story, but I think it had to do with they were seeking private investors, so to grow the business, do whatever else, and they were really struggling to get external funding.
Okay.
So, and the reason being is because like a lot of like investment funds, hedge funds, all of this stuff and angel investors and everything, a lot of the companies that do that, they have policies in place where they don't actually invest in porn businesses or businesses with this kind of explicit content. So I think that was the main reason. They're trying to like grow the business. And a lot of the time, as many of you know, if you want to grow a business, quite often you need a capital investment.
Right.
And they were having really trouble. They were struggling also with the business valuation. So like the companies that were I guess, willing to invest in them. They were undervaluing the company.
Right.
Even though they had, I guess, last year they made like maybe $2 billion or something ridiculous.
Why do they have to have investors? I mean, why can't they just, isn't it a good, happy place? I mean, here's the thing.
A good, happy place. Oh, Rose, I don't know what OnlyFans sites you've been subscribing to, okay?
I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's what I don't get.
Okay, what don't you get?
Because it's a fucking website, okay? It's a platform.
Yeah.
You don't even need to really do. I mean, I'm sure there's some stuff that you have to do, but like technically you're not doing the work. It's like, Airbnb or something where the person that's creating is not the owner of the website.
Yeah.
So technically it's like I can go and sign up. I do all the work and they get a commission.
This is why, guys, honestly, these apps and websites are so fucking smart. Like, so I found out, I'm not going to like call out any specific apps per se, but I'm sure there's a lot of apps, Airbnb or other ones, but I found out with the food industry, like delivery apps, for example, right? And I already knew as a consumer of delivery apps that they charge a fee for using the platform. Usually it's like 10% of your order or something,
right?
Or maybe some percentage, or there's like a delivery fee, or not a delivery fee, but like a platform fee. Fine, okay, I was like, cool. But what I didn't realize is on the other end, they're also like charging the restaurants to use the platform as well, and it can be like astronomical, like
20 to 30%.
So not only are they making 20 to 30% off the restaurant, also making 10% off the consumers. So literally,
and barely paying their drivers.
Yeah, and literally, like, so at the end of the day, they're making so much money.
I know, for literally doing nothing.
Yeah, for just having
all they do is have the website.
Yeah,
that's the new business model. This is why, again, we always say it's not about how much you're working.
Yeah.
It's about how you can really like beat the system, right?
No, hugely.
So all of the new websites that have come out nowadays, it really doesn't involve much. I'm sure there is a lot of work on the end of whoever created this, but at the same time, compared to other ways of making money, they don't have to do anything, right?
Well, exactly, because especially once you get the app set up, obviously there's continual development and whatever else, but ultimately,
when you have a bunch of people using it, all of a sudden it's just cash flow.
Damn.
So that's the thing with OnlyFans. That's why I don't understand this like reasoning, because what are they going to do? So now they're going to get investors after everyone leaves the website.
Yeah, I think I wish I could remember exactly, but I feel like that was the main
it was something
reason.
About banks, and I feel like you're probably right.
Well, it is because like, hedge funds and everything else, like not just hedge funds, like I keep saying hedge funds, but like investors and investment groups in general, they have usually policies against investing in certain industries.
Right.
So and I know pornography would be one of them. Like,
but then it's like that's your whole purpose. So it says OnlyFans ban just the latest in campaign against what the hell? Adult content online, industry watchers say. Okay. So OnlyFans will ban sexually explicit content on its platform starting October 1st after requests from banking partners. Those in the industry say it's just the latest overreaching response against the war against adult content online. So yeah, but I want to actually know.
So I guess they already have investors and maybe they're just like asking them to tone it down. I think from what I understood what they're doing, they're banning like porn. But like when it comes to nudity and stuff, like if you were tasteful nudity, like if you want to show your boobs or whatever, I think that's still going to be allowed, but it's not like explicit, like having sex with somebody on camera in front of people.
Really?
Yeah.
But
I think I could be wrong. I haven't like looked into the full article on stuff, but
sexually explicit is a very loose term.
It is. It's a very.
We don't know what that means.
It's a very loose term.
Yes, Daniel.
No pun intended. Oh God, that's bad. That's bad, guys.
Let's see here. Mm-hmm. The website with 130 million users and more than 2 million content creators.
You one of those, Rose?
Oh God damn, Daniel! If I was on there, I wouldn't be doing this. I've been making enough money living in the Bahamas.
Excuse me, Rose. You still wouldn't want to do this with me?
I would. It'd just be a passion project. So it says, has become synonymous with pornography.
Yeah.
So for many, performing on the app is a lifeline. See, that's another thing. I feel kind of bad for these people.
Yeah, because if it's like their main source of income.
It's like, imagine like if all of a sudden one day they're like, YouTube is no longer doing videos.
Yeah.
All the YouTubers will be fucked. You know what I'm saying?
Literally fucked.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, you're right. So simple nudity will still be allowed.
Yeah, I had a feeling.
As long as it complies with the platform's other policies. Only content containing sexually explicit conduct, presumably meaning sex acts on camera, will still be banned. But again, it's like, I mean, do people just want to see nudes?
I don't know.
I mean,
but if you're paying for a
I'm like, if I'm paying for a service, I want to get the full service.
I want to get the full the full meal deal there.
Yeah, I don't want to just the appetizer.
Exactly. You know what? I don't.
I mean, I don't get this in general, like the popularity of it. To be honest,
also because there's so much free porn out there.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, have you not heard of free porn? Have you not heard of the internet?
I know. Like, I'm like, why do you need to pay for this stuff?
I think it's because they're seeing, like, let's say their favorite creators.
That's true. Yeah,
I think that's the kind of exciting thing, and also potentially because they can actually interact with the creator.
No, that makes sense.
So I think that's what makes it really, like, for example, if you're like a porn star and you're on OnlyFans, you can actually like message your favorite porn star or something.
Yeah, and like say hi. Oh my god, I love you. And
yeah, can you show me a boob?
Yeah. I love you in,
Yeah. Can you do something sexually explicit on camera?
Can you, yeah. That's kind of shocking though. It's kind of crazy because like that really is their bread and butter. So
I know. I don't know what's going to happen.
It would be like Amazon being like, we're going to no longer deliver packages.
Yeah.
You can still use our online services, but we're no longer going to deliver any packages.
Oh my God, seriously.
It's like, okay. Strange.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be interesting to see what happens. Mm-hmm. But I think people are probably going to be very pissed off.
Oh yeah, people are not going to be happy.
I mean, Bad Baby is not going to be happy.
Oh my God,
you're going to have to catch her outside.
Bad Barbie or whatever it was.
Is it Bad Baby?
Maybe Bad Baby.
I think so.
Yeah.
Did you hear my little joke there?
Say it again, Rose. What are you going to have to do?
You're going to have to catch her outside.
How about that? How about that, Rose? Yeah, kind of crazy. Well, let's see how the story progresses. Yes. Let's see if OnlyFans, I'm sure OnlyFans we'll
keep you guys updated on what happens to my account.
Yeah, exactly. And my subscription on OnlyFans, I'll tell you also what happens. Just kidding.
Okay, so next story is involving a very good looking man that I have a crush on.
How okay, first of all, let's just scroll down.
Okay, so let me just have a look at his beautiful face. Oh. He is a fucking
he's a beautiful man.
He is a beautiful man.
Like, hello, Hasan Piker.
So have you heard of him?
I haven't actually.
I feel like I've shown you him before.
You probably have.
But like a while ago. So he is he started out on a network called The Young Turks, which is a YouTube channel, and also like they have their own website, all that stuff. Yeah. They're basically an independent news network or news station, whatever you want to call it, and they are left wing, like progressive, you know. Anyways, he is actually the nephew of the founder of The Young Turks. Yeah. And so he was on The Young Turks for a while, and then I think eventually he just went to Twitch. Yeah. So he started being a Twitch streamer, and he talks a Twitcher, like Daniel likes to call it. Yeah. You're like one of those old people that like
has come up with a funny term. I'm like, yes, I'm down with the kids. Yeah. Yeah.
I would laugh if they actually, that is the actual term, but I don't think it is. I've never heard anyone say it.
Guys, what is the term for someone that's popular on Twitch?
Twitch streamer.
Is it a Twitch streamer or is it a Twitcher?
Okay, we'll make Twitcher happen. Yeah. So he's a Twitcher.
Yeah. But then it also makes you think like he's like twitching, So anyway, continue. Sorry.
So he is a Twitcher, and he mainly does like political commentary.
Yeah. He's very, very left wing.
Yes, which is also why I have a crush on him too.
And also, I mean, look at him.
And also, he's a beautiful man.
Where, you know what? Can we just?
He is a Turkish man. Should we go to Turkey?
I think we should. And also, I'm just like, I want to take a moment to like say like, okay, first of all, guys, look him up if you don't know who he is. You're welcome.
Daniel. He man.
Oh god dang. But like, it would be so nice. Like, why can we not meet a nice guy in Calgary
that looks like
this and is left wing?
Oh my god, Daniel, you be asking for too much.
Is that too much to ask in this goddamn city?
Should we go to Los Angeles?
No.
So what's the story here? I actually don't know the story.
So basically, I'm going to explain the story.
Although I could kind of see where it's happening from the article title.
So basically, people are really on the fence about this. Okay. And what had happened was, I guess Hasan Piker, he, as you know, he's very vocal, very left wing, very about like, equality and, all that kind of stuff. Sure. And basically, he recently purchased it was like 2.93, like almost a $3 million home in LA. Sure. And basically, people on the internet went wild on him
because he shouldn't be purchasing anything nice because he's a left-wing political commentator.
Exactly. They're like, oh, like I can read you some of the actual
people are so dumb. Can I just say that straight off the bat? Yeah. People have no, how do I say, they have no ability to think beyond the surface level.
Yeah. It's funny because so here it's saying, okay, so he got this like 3,800 square foot home and he's been facing this.
Damn, that's huge.
I know, it's fucking massive. He probably has maybe he's married or something. That's why
he's single.
Are you sure, Rose?
That's what I like to believe.
Keep believing that.
I'm pretty sure he's single.
Okay. But anyway,
hi, Hasan.
Hi, Hasan. If you're listening to our podcast, slide into Rose's DMs.
Or maybe Daniel's, depending on which way you swing.
Exactly. Or maybe mine.
Pretty sure he's straight.
Yeah, he probably is.
Anyways.
So anyway, he's facing this wave of criticism about purchasing this house, and a lot of his followers, I guess, are also accusing him of being like hypocritical because of some of the stuff that he talks about in his I guess Twitch streams and stuff. What are your thoughts?
Well, this is very similar to the Black Lives Matter founder.
Yeah,
it's the same story, right? It's basically the same thing.
Pretty much.
The problem is, first of all, he's in Los Angeles. It's an expensive fucking place to live, okay? It's not cheap. It's going to be expensive. If you're going to purchase a home, it's going to be expensive. You're right. Like when I see the square footage, it's a pretty fucking big home.
It is a lot.
It's a little excessive, but at the same time, it's like, how do I say? First, at the same time, he works from home. He probably has a studio from home.
Yeah.
So that's another thing to consider. Yeah. It's not so extravagant. Like, we're not talking $40 million home that has 50 bedrooms. Like, yes, it's a little bit more than the average person, but it's also not crazy. And also, he's not against, like, I've heard him talk many times. He's not against like people owning things that are nice, right? Like, he's not against people having like homes and like having nicer homes, but he is for like taxation. Like, for example, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm just speaking on behalf of what I've heard. Yeah. But he's for like taxation of rich people, like making sure that, the people that are at the bottom are covered, like socially, like, there's social welfare. That doesn't change anything, right? Yeah. The fact that he got a $4 million, $5 million home doesn't change his belief system in that way, and I don't think it's hypocritical in that way.
No, I think to this point, I do agree with you. I do think the house, I mean, again, he's using it as a studio space, I'm guessing, as
potentially,
well.
Yes.
Potentially, we don't know. But I think the biggest thing here is, like, you're right. Just because like somebody has like an ideology or a view on being more left wing, for example, or like more socialist, it would be different if the story was found out that he was evading taxes,
right?
Or if he was, you know what I mean? Because
yes,
because I feel like I'm very like we were both like more left wing.
Yes.
But my whole philosophy has never been like, I don't think people shouldn't make good money or shouldn't have like, nice things and everything else. What I'm against is those really wealthy people riding the system, not paying appropriate taxes, living, doing all this like crazy shit. And I'm like, that's where I have an issue. Also,
like, extreme wealth, right?
Exactly.
Like, we would be against like billionaires, okay?
Yeah.
Or people that have $500 million homes.
Yeah.
Like, this is not extreme. Yes, it's more expensive than the average person. And yes, it seems to be a little bit bigger than the average home. Yeah. But it's also not that fucking crazy.
Exactly. Well, and it says here the median home price in Los Angeles County, which I'm imagining is a big area, the county of LA, is already close to $1 million. Like, it's 775,000. And again, that's taking into consideration bad areas, good areas, whatever else. So actually, I mean, it depends where you live as well. Like, for us in Calgary, it's like, oh my God, $3 million. Like, in Calgary, you could get a lot for your money, right? Yeah. But in other places, you take that to Vancouver or Toronto.
Yeah. That's like nothing.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm
kind of shocked that he got the 3,000 square foot place for how much? 4 million?
3 million.
3 million. It seems kind of like a steal.
Steal of a deal, right?
Like, honestly, I would imagine that like, maybe 2,000 square feet would be that much, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Here's somebody that commented, I guess, Alexis Isabella, socialist activist, tweeted, "It's just flat out unethical to be profiting off socialism and then buying yourself a $3 million home in a state that has one of the highest homelessness rates in the country."
Okay.
Like, so
buying a fucking $3 million home does not change anything. What difference does it make if he buys a $1 million home, a $500,000 home, or a $3 million home to the homelessness crisis? He is still bringing awareness to this issue. And again, it doesn't change, like, what difference does it make other than people just looking at you like you're being greedy or something? Yeah,
they're like, oh, you just spent so much on this house.
And the fact of the matter is, he's making a shit ton of money on Twitch.
Yeah.
And people had no problem with that. But as soon as he spends the money, all of a sudden,
they're like, whoa, you can't be doing this.
What is he supposed to do? And he like admits it himself. He's like, the fact that we live in America and people think that there's a meritocracy, as in like, if you work hard, you're going to make more money. the fact that I make so much money doing what I do, he said this before, the fact that I make so much money doing what I do is a testament that America is not a meritocracy. Like, you know, and I was like, great. Like, he owns up to that. Like, he shouldn't be making so much money what he does compared to what other people do, compared to people like, you know, that are risking their lives doing whatever job that they're doing.
Exactly.
Anyways,
the whole system is like fucked, guys.
Maybe blame the system. Don't hate the player.
Don't hate the player. No, but I do agree. And again, I think this would be way more like when I first saw this article, I was like, oh, okay, bit of an big house or whatever. But then you realize, okay, it's LA. House prices are expensive there. But I think the biggest thing for me where this would have been a scandal is, again, like I said, if he was caught evading taxes or, you know, doing stuff that was against his socialist beliefs. Because then I would be like, that's unethical. Because, you know, you're saying like, you know, that you are believing in these ideologies, and then
people are so stupid. It's like they don't get like they don't get that, like, when you believe when you are a socialist or something, or you believe in socialist philosophy, again, it doesn't mean that you are against any form of wealth. Like, you're just against, first of all, extreme wealth when you have especially extreme poverty.
But I think that's a big misconception, and that's why there's so, like, conservatives jump on this, right? Because conservatives jump on this idea that people that are more socialist and more left wing, they think, oh, they're going to come after all of us, our assets. Nobody's allowed to have nice things, blah 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 blah. And it's like, when have we ever fucking said that? We literally never said that. We never had that kind of comment. But again, it's that extreme, excessive amount of wealth and the ability of those extremely wealthy people to not pay their fair share in taxes.
Not pay taxes, evade taxes, make as much money as possible, exploit people. That's the problem.
Exactly.
What's funny is these same people that are criticizing him right now, they will not criticize the billionaires. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, because they'll say like, well, I don't believe in this.
They're conservative. So like for the billionaires, so like, it's fine. They can buy excessive amount of, like, you know, property and stuff. It's just like, it's just crazy. I love that. Do you see what he tweeted?
Piker tweeted about the situation on Friday, saying that everyone collectively needs to calm down and calling the housing market in Los Angeles fucked. Piker also posted a few memes on the situation, as well as tweeting, "Once I'm done being stun-locked by the dumbest takes, we'll get back to the real news."
Oh my God. And then I love this picture where he's like, I hate that I was exposed. And then
with Azan.
I think it's just like, I don't know.
Is that him?
I think it's like him, but I was like, socialism is when Azan has no house. Like, I mean, but again,
like actually though, because at what point, that's the thing. It's like, this is such a, like, it's a gray area, right? So it's like, at what point will you be accepting of the fact that you're a socialist and you also
live in a capitalistic society?
It's like, that's the thing. You live in a capitalist society. You might have a belief that you shouldn't. It's the system, right? It's the system that allows certain people to make so much money. So don't hate the player.
Exactly.
Hate the game.
But again, just to like reinforce that point, is like, never once, and I'm sure maybe more extreme socialism or like communism and stuff, it's a little different, but like, never once are people that are more left wing, or maybe some of them, but like, that we're saying that you can't have nice things.
Like, you have to live in a hut.
You have to. Oh, if you don't live in a community shared house and you don't fucking, you know, donate every single penny that you earn to charities and everything else, you're not a proper socialist.
And that's the thing. It's not even about charity. It's about, like, socialists are not like, we need to donate to charity. They're like, no, the government needs to tax people.
Exactly.
And they will pay their taxes.
They need to pay their fair dues in order to help society as a whole. To build up and, you know, to tackle problems like homelessness, to tackle these issues that we're facing. I
can't wait to see his like actual response, because he's probably gonna like lose his shit.
Do you think he's gonna will he do a response video?
He'll probably stream about it and talk about it. I think he streams like for a long time, like every day, because I'm pretty sure they make a shit ton of money.
So he just wakes up in the morning,
just streams, man.
Just streams.
Yeah, that's his life. Talks into a mic.
I think that would be a bit weird, like just streaming by myself all day.
Yeah, but you're chatting with people, right? Because like people are asking you questions and stuff, and then sometimes he like reacts to videos.
Fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's like it's just people are so stupid.
Oh God.
Look at the bigger picture, people. Look. Here's the thing. Even if we were to even if we were to say that he is a bit of a hypocrite, which, you know what, maybe you could say that to some extent.
Yeah.
I would say that all of us have a little bit of hypocrisy, especially because, again, we live in a capitalist system. So we have to conform to some extent. We need a home, okay? And sometimes we want a little bit of a nicer home. That's a very normal thing, right?
Yeah.
So like everyone's a little bit of a hypocrite, but you have to look at the bigger picture. Mm-hmm. What kind of message is he sending? Is he actually, you know, sending a good message, you know, talking about important issues that impact the entire world, not just his home, like his dwelling. This is not like, this doesn't impact anything. Exactly. Okay.
Well, and he even, like you said, he even calls out on his Twitch streams and stuff. He's like, it's ridiculous that I'm able to just sit in my house doing these streams, making shit tons of money, more than like probably a doctor or like a, you know, policeman.
But then you're going to do it because that's how you survive in this society.
Exactly. You're not going to all of a sudden be like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm a socialist. So like, I'm not going to make any money. I'm just going to like, you know, be a hermit.
Yeah. It's like when people are like, oh my God, vegans, like you're still like killing animals because, you know, insects have died when, you know, when we destroy the crops, like, you know, that kind of shit. I'm just like, okay, calm the fuck down, people. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Or they always try to jump on something, right? They'll be like, oh, well, you know, the vegans, they're like, because they're eating so many avocados.
Yes, you're such a hypocrite.
Yeah, that's
just like all this kind of shit. I'm just like, okay, you're a fucking dumbass.
Oh God.
Oh God. It's like, oh God, people are, as soon as you try to, as soon as you have a stance, as soon as you have a belief and you vocalize that belief and you have an ethical stance, people will jump on you.
Oh, they will 100%.
Exactly.
But again, in these situations, I would understand if it was a more black and white area. Like, for example, if someone's a vegan activist.
Yes.
And they
ate steak.
And then you see them at like a steak restaurant having a huge steak. Obviously, that's completely different. You're like, oh my God, this person is like super, you know, hypocritical and very like, you know.
Like basically a faker.
Exactly. Yeah. And the same with this guy. Like if it was caught that, you know, he had money in offshore accounts or in tax havens and avoiding paying taxes and all this stuff, then that's different. That's against what you believe in.
But he bought a home where he will reside in.
Yeah.
in Los Angeles.
So I'm sorry, guys, because you're left wing, you can't own a home.
Oh my God.
That's not allowed.
And like we
only
also
conservatives can. Like, fuck.
We also should take into account the fact that in LA as well, there's a lot of like shady neighborhoods. Yeah. So you probably have to be in probably a nicer neighborhood.
Yeah.
Unfortunately speaking, right? Like maybe he doesn't even want this, you know what I mean? Like you have a limited option because there's so many shady areas of LA that like you could probably get a cheaper place, but then you're living in a shitty neighborhood. Yeah. Crime rates are high. I would be concerned.
Exactly. And you know what I was just thinking? You know who is probably going to comment on this? One of our favorite people.
Candace Owens.
Yes. I can see
oh my
her.
God. And I think the reason how I discovered him is because he did like a video on Candace Owens.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, marry me now.
I know. I'm in love with you. Well, I mean, and it helps that like he's just...
he kind of looked like a mess in that video, but still, I was like, wow, this man is so like smart. And I love him.
We need to meet him. Rose, how do we meet?
Look at us thirsty over this man.
We are like, this is bad.
Well, now, you know what? I thought he was a regular old dude, and now he has a $4 million home.
$3 million.
$3 million home.
Still, I think we should slide into his DM.
He probably gets so many thirsty DMs. Oh my God.
I would love to out of like just randomly once, I would love to take like a random celebrity or like somebody like that, you know, is very hugely famous, and just like I would love to see their DMs, like just to see what people are writing and stuff. I mean, it would be crazy shit.
Yeah, probably.
Like actually crazy.
They probably don't even open their DMs, but
yeah, no, especially once you get to a certain, I think you have a manager and stuff, so you probably don't even look at social media at all.
So funny.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine. I mean, I would imagine it would be some
some thirsty tweets.
Well, I know there's like DMs. Was it Jimmy Fallon or somebody that does like a show where like celebrities read
Yes, it's I think it's the other guy, but whatever.
Yeah, one of those.
Anyway, it's one of those late night show people. We all know who it is. Yeah. We all know.
Jimmy Kimmel? No.
Jimmy. Yeah, something Kimmel.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Jimmy Fallon. Is it Jimmy Kimmel?
I don't know. There's like some kind of Kimmel.
Oh. Mr. Kimmel.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do the thirst tweets or the celebrities read mean tweets.
Are crazy. I'm just like, who's tweeting this stuff? Like, really, like, I want you to take me so hard and rip me apart and like, all this shit. And one guy was like, oh my God. I can't remember who it was, but it was just like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Like, and one of them was like, oh, this person could punch me in the throat and then like make out with me and then punch me in the throat and I'd be into it. And he was like, oh God. I'm like, the thing is like, sometimes I'm like, your private thoughts should sometimes stay your private thoughts.
I feel like sometimes they want people to read those tweets.
That's true.
So they just tweet out the most vulgar shit, you know?
Potentially.
Potentially.
But I mean, they're still putting
it's the internet, Daniel. People say all kinds of shit.
This is very true. People are very graphic and explicit on the internet.
Yes.
And on various apps, people, I've actually, and I'm not even famous, I've had people slide in my DMs.
God damn it. Of course you have.
And
doesn't surprise me one bit.
Said some very interesting things, which I shall not repeat on this podcast. Again, we'll save that for a Patreon exclusive.
Oh my god, we should do like a reading hate comments Patreon exclusive, or like reading that would be so fun. Let's do it next time.
Let's do it. That's such a good idea.
Oh my god, I get so much fucking shit.
we could go through some of the...
I have way too much content for that.
We could go through CLV. We could go through our podcast ones.
CLV.
Yeah. Ooh, that's
gonna be juicy.
I like that. I like that idea. Maybe that's for September.
Okay.
So this is another interesting story, guys. Well, I don't know if it's that interesting.
What the hell am I reading?
So basically, I guess, and I don't fully, like many things in life, I don't fully understand this. It's like Bitcoin. Bitcoin's one of those things that I'm just like...
I know, people try to explain it to me.
Conceptually, I kind of get it, but
I still don't get it. No.
I don't get it.
I've had multiple people try to explain it to me.
Yeah.
And every time it just cannot.
And some people are super into it, and I'm just like...
But what's crazy is we did well in school. It's not like we're dumb.
No, we're
I know we sound sometimes very stupid.
I know, guys, probably some people listening are like, oh God, these two.
They think they're smart.
We were on the honor roll in distinction and stuff, right?
So we have ability to understand concepts.
Yeah. And I took finance. I took very complex
I know, but then with
courses.
Bitcoin and crypto, I'm I literally don't get it. Maybe it's partially because we don't really care.
Yeah, that could be it. I bet you if we took a proper course, maybe a crash course for a couple hours, we would actually
I just don't care.
Yeah.
It just seems seems like an adult game,
I know, but they say it's the future of finance, right?
Well, I'll be dead by then.
Oh God, damn, that's so negative. You'd be a young angel.
Damn.
So anyway, I guess Facebook is launching a virtual reality remote work app. So basically it's for people working at home. And I guess my understanding is they've been testing this out, and it's like a virtual reality kind of thing where you wear headsets, I guess.
Okay.
And you're in a VR, so you can have a meeting at a boardroom with a bunch of people in your little
oh my god, why is the world coming to this?
But it's you would have an avatar, I guess, in this particular world.
Wait, what does it mean, metaverse? It says Facebook launches VR remote work app, calling it a step to the metaverse.
Here's some pictures, Rose. You see these people all digitally hanging out.
So basically I would be the blonde girl on the right, you'd be the dude on the left, and we'd be chatting. Yeah. But it's we're in a meeting.
Yeah.
But we already have Zoom. I don't understand this concept. I don't like us moving so digital. I get it, but I also don't like it.
No, I know. Because I think there's something to be said about the importance of human connection. And also I've even noticed just going back to the office, for example, I'm back in the office now pretty much full time. And even if for example, when I was working from home, I did feel to some degree connected with my colleagues, but it was all virtual. Whereas now I'm I can sit with them, I can turn around, I can talk to them. If you have something really shitty happen, you can go grab a coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can actually just take a break from these things, and you have people there to a shoulder to cry on or laugh with. And it makes such a difference, and it makes work more enjoyable, to be honest, right? So,
but maybe this is for people that they can't work together for some reason because they're, they're living in a different city or something.
This is true. Well, we do have some people even at my company that even before COVID happened,
they're
living in various cities in Canada, for example, or the US or wherever, where there's no office.
Right.
So they just have been remote workers forever. So, which I don't know if I could do that.
You really don't like it.
I don't like it.
Some people love working from home.
I don't mind it. I think I'm going to eventually work sometimes from home, but we'll see. So basically, Facebook on Thursday launched a test of the new virtual reality remote app, which we talked about, where users of the company's Oculus Quest 2 headsets can hold meetings as avatar versions of themselves. Facebook sees its latest launch as an early step towards building the futuristic metaverse that CEO Mark Zuckerberg has touted in recent weeks. So I guess metaverse is an online universe, maybe?
I guess so. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, so I guess the Facebook's been heavily invested in virtual and augmented reality, working on AR glasses and wristband technologies.
God, maybe I'm an old person, but I don't know. How do you feel about this? I
think, for example, for people, this is the thing. I'm
Can't they just use Zoom? Like, exactly. I actually don't get it.
I know. I don't get it either because actually.
What need is this like
fulfilling?
Meeting?
Yeah.
Because we already have Zoom, right?
Yeah.
Like.
I don't know. Maybe when you're in an augmented reality, it's like more realistic.
Like it feels like you have to wear like the whole virtual. So you actually feel like you're in the room.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh, I guess, but that's kind of creepy.
I know it's a bit weird. But I think again with like Zoom, I've just seen how with Zoom and Teams and all these other like apps and stuff, like how you can still speak and connect with people really easily.
Yeah.
So I just don't, and you can share your screen. You can go through presentations.
Yeah.
Like I really don't see.
But I guess it's trying to get you thinking that you're actually in the office.
Yeah. And you can probably design.
Although I don't know why that's appealing.
Because I'd rather just be in the office. Yeah,
either I'll physically be in the office or I'll just be at home. Like
maybe this will work for people that work from home always. I know I've always been remote workers, but I just don't see it.
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
Would you guys?
I could see it for more gaming stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, virtual reality is, it's used for games.
Yeah.
It's already used for games, and now they're trying to make it into...
like a workplace thing. Maybe we are just too old for this. Like, maybe that's why we're not getting it. Like, what are your guys' thoughts? Like, do you think this is like a new, like the future? Do you think this is like how we're, instead of Zoom, we're going to have like avatars of ourselves in these like
who
virtual
knows?
Reality rooms?
I've been skeptical of many technologies in the past that have become very successful.
Become huge.
So, like the iPad, for example. I was like, what the fuck is the point of this thing?
That's true. I still don't really like the point of an eye because I'm like,
I do have one. It's basically like I still don't like. It's kind of like a mini computer / your phone.
Yeah.
So
but that's why I don't get it because I have iPhones and then I have my MacBook. So I'm just like,
it's like a middle ground. Yeah. But then also it's a little redundant.
Yeah, like what would I do on an iPad that I couldn't do on my phone?
Yeah, but it's very popular, Daniel.
I know. Well, my mom has one as well. Like
your mom has one.
Yeah, and my grandma.
And now we have to use iPads and stuff for like at the cafe and stuff, you know? God, it's very, God, I hate technology.
You know what, to be fair though, because I've been to some restaurants where they use...
You okay there?
Yeah, pardon me. They use iPads, which actually I love because they'll come to your table. And one of my pet peeves, guys, and I'm just going to go off on a tangent here for a minute. One of my pet peeves is when I go to a restaurant and the server doesn't write down your order.
Right, I know.
Because literally, and I'm not kidding you, and I know some people have fantastic memories out there, but I just know from working in the service industry that it is very difficult to remember everyone's order.
It is.
Especially when you're running around and the thing with being a server is like you could remember somebody's order and start walking and then someone's like, "Hey, excuse me, can I get some ketchup?"
Yeah.
And then everything's thrown off, right? So I just it drives me crazy. And every time I see a server not writing down an order, I'm like, "Yep, I know my order's going to be fucked up." And guess what? 9 times out of 10 it is.
It's fucked up.
Because something's wrong. They'll forget a sauce or whatever it is. And like, again, I'm being nitpicky here, but like, it's just a bit frustrating when I'm like, all you need is a pen and a paper. Like,
I know.
When I was a server, I wrote everything down.
Yeah.
And I still even once in a while would get orders wrong.
Yeah.
But like majority of the time, it would be right because I wrote it down. But that's why I like these iPads.
Yeah, because you just put it in right away.
Exactly, because the server comes to your table and as you're ordering, is like putting it on the iPad. Like there's like very limited room for error.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't know. Anyway, I think it can be beneficial in some circumstances. Here's a little interesting little thing on this article. So the term metaverse, coined in the 1992 dystopian novel Snow Crash, which I read.
Did you?
No, I haven't. Is used to describe an immersive shared space accessed across different platforms where the physical and digital converge. Zuckerberg has described it as an embodied internet.
Oh my God. This is just a fancy term for fucking some kind of adult office game.
I know, but you know where I could see augmented reality going, and I'm sure there's developments. Maybe that's something that OnlyFans is working on, you know?
Like porn?
Yeah.
I feel like it would have to exist already. Virtual reality porn?
Could be, but maybe there's like different devices that you wear on different parts of your
so
body.
You can actually feel something?
So it's very immersive, if you know what I mean.
You mean like toys?
Yeah, but it goes with whatever's happening in the augmented
I'm going to look
universe.
this up.
I'm kind of curious now.
Should we look it up?
Virtual reality. I'm scared what we're going to find, you know? I think there's going to be some weird...
There has to be. Like, I feel like there has to be some kind of virtual reality porn.
I think there probably is. Like, there must be something, but I think it's still probably in development.
Right. So maybe that's what they should be working on, you know? That would sell for sure.
I feel like that's a bigger market.
Yeah. I mean, 100%.
Well, it's a huge market, and also it
fulfills a very important need. Yes.
very specific. Whereas this VR,
this is, it's not as much of
although I could see it being, still, because I feel like for example, I was just thinking like if you had family that lived far away, you know what I mean?
Right.
To like connect with them, but I'm still like, I would rather Zoom because then I can see their face.
That's the thing. It's like, okay, I would maybe understand this more if it wasn't like an avatar version.
Yeah.
But it was almost like it was them like.
But digitally scanned. And
yeah.
So
it's pretty much like you're physically actually there.
Yeah. And it looks
then
like
it might make sense, right? Like
yeah.
in that case, that would be a really cool technology.
Because then you could imagine if you could go and you could see, because I have actually, where did I even talk about this? I honestly think I did this in a school project years ago when we talked about virtual meetings.
Yeah.
And going into a meeting room, or not virtual, but like being able to Skype like your grandma or someone that's far away.
Sure.
And you can just give them a hug, but virtually.
Oh.
With your like avatar, but not avatar. It's like,
but like with your actual face.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I think that would make a little bit more sense.
Yeah. That would be something really, really cool. This, I'm just kind of like, it just feels like a video game.
Yeah. Like really silly.
But anyway, guys,
but who knows? I mean, it could probably blow up,
This is true. I mean, a lot of things have, blown up and
oh God,
things continue to blow up. So our next story, well, it's a little bit of a
what is this one, Daniel? No, I have not.
So apparently, and I think this makes sense, but I just want to read you an excerpt from this. Excerpt. So anyway, guys, the Federal Aviation Administration on Thursday said that it would be seeking more than $500,000 in fines from 34 passengers for unruly behavior. So apparently, there's been a lot of, I guess,
during the COVID,
I know,
brought up the worst in the peoples.
I feel like people be getting crazy. Mm-hmm. So apparently, this is going to bring the total for 2021 to more than $1 million that they've been seeking from people that have been doing this kind of unruly behavior. So these fines are part of the FAA's zero tolerance policy that it adopted earlier this year in light of the rise of reported incidents on flights, which I think partially like COVID, everything that's been going on, people be getting crazy as hell. Yeah. So the largest fine against an individual person was $45,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but get this. Okay, the largest fine is $45,000 against a passenger on a JetBlue Airlines flight in May who allegedly threw objects at other passengers, refused to stay in his seat, laid on the floor, and put his head up a flight attendant's skirt.
Oh my God.
What is wrong with people? I'm like,
wait, shouldn't he go to jail or something?
I mean, I'm sure he probably is going to jail, but I think this is an additional penalty.
$45,000?
Yeah. So he'll be paying that off for years.
Oh my God.
I know. I just think to myself,
like honestly, what did you take, sir?
I know.
What kind of drugs are you on?
Like, it's just like, I get sometimes when people get frustrated or maybe a bit angry.
That is beyond.
Maybe they raise their voice, but like throwing shit at other passengers.
Looking up your flight attendant's skirt? How do you even go there?
Not looking up. Not just looking up. Putting his head up. Her
skirt. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Ew.
So I'm just like, how's
that even logistically possible?
I don't know. Like he must have, it sounded like he like.
Oh, because he laid on the floor.
Yeah.
Ew. That's fucking disgusting.
I know, it's so bad. But
lock him up, dude.
Lock him up. I think it's good that they're starting to impose these fines, though.
Right. I mean, are they even going to be like? What happens if you can't pay that fine?
Well,
that's like someone's salary, for
the year. Yeah. What I would think would happen is, if they can't pay the fine, and I think this is what typically happens, a couple different things. One is if they have like literally nothing, then the person I think would claim bankruptcy and they can't pay anything, I think. But I think what's more common is like if that person has a job, what they'll do is they'll get a court order to what is it called, garnish their wage or something.
Okay.
Where they basically like whenever you get paid, there's an automatic amount.
Oh.
But they have to they always do it in a, like, from what I understand is they would have an agreement where they could only take a certain amount of percentage of his wage.
Right.
So it would have to be like he can still live his life and still pay his rent and do everything else.
Okay.
But they'll garnish his wage. So
oh my God. I cannot believe that story.
I know. But that's an interesting point though. Cause like, what do you do? Like, let's say someone does something horrible and you go to find them or sue them and they literally have no assets, no nothing.
Yeah. Put them in jail? Like, how does that work?
But then you're not going to get anything paid back. Like if someone stole a shitload of money from you, and then you sued them, and they have no assets,
there's nothing you can do.
Like you're done. That's it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's why there's no point of suing it in time. Well, at times.
Actually, this is almost what happened to me because you know how when I was living in the UK,
right,
my flatmate, my lovely flatmate, decided to run off with my half of the deposit.
Yeah.
And it was funny because one of my friends, I was like chatting with a bunch of different people and getting advice. And they were like, you know what, Daniel, to be honest, like someone like my flatmate who was horrible with money, like massive, he was like 26 or 25, 26 and like was not done university, but he had like flunked out of one degree, I think. Oh. But had paid a shit ton of money for it.
Right.
Then was doing a second kind of like degree-ish, but he still had like a few more years. I'm like, I don't know what he was doing, but he had like so much debt.
Right.
Like the most debt, like just crazy amounts of debt. I remember him telling me. And so I was like, yeah, what would I like? I probably wouldn't get any money back. So I was lucky because I did actually end up suing him.
Yeah.
And he just put the money right back into my account.
Yeah.
So
but you wouldn't get anything in additional, right? So like if someone were to sue him for other things, that wasn't necessarily like, oh, let me just give you back your money.
Yeah.
If it was something else and like he was owed, like he just wouldn't be able to pay it back.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think he had originally spent the deposits.
Right.
So I think that's why he took a long time. Like it did take him a little while to get it back to me.
Oh my God.
But he eventually, because we got our deposit back in September.
Right.
I didn't get my money until January.
That's crazy.
So,
and it wasn't even a crazy amount of money.
No, exactly. Like it was like £500.
Right.
So I think that's also why I lucked out and got my money.
Sure.
I think you're right. If it had been a substantial amount of money, then
even if you went to court, it's like
he wouldn't get anything. Like we could say that we're going to garnish his wage, but what if he never gets a job? Or you know, some people might argue like it's like kind of like with student loans. I know in the UK, like if you don't make a certain amount of money, you don't have to pay them back.
Oh,
so like because once you hit a certain threshold, they'll start garnishing your wage. I think it's called garnishing. I don't know. They'll start taking from your wage a certain percentage all the time. But if you never hit that threshold,
then you won't have to pay back.
You never have to pay back.
Right. I mean, kind of makes sense considering you go to university to make a certain wage.
Exactly, to get a good job. And if you know the living wage is you know, not
makes sense,
available, then
God
craziness.
Damn.
So I just think anyway, back to this story.
So $500,000 in fines. That's the thing. $500,000 in fines from 34 passengers. That's not a lot of passengers.
No.
All of these passengers have a big fucking fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there would be a lot, but like, I mean, this one passenger, for example, this one that got 45,000, that makes up a big chunk of it.
Yeah.
Because then there's 440,000 left between another 30.
But like, oh my God. Imagine like just being such a fucking annoying passenger that you are charged thousands of dollars on a flight.
But it's like crazy. Like it honestly, I know there's a lot of great people and I don't want to be negative. There's so many great people out there as well.
Of course.
But like, honestly, people never cease to amaze me. And like, I always go back to what was it? Soho Karen or whatever.
Oh God. Yeah.
This girl, I don't want to say girl, lady, she was like 21 or 20. Maybe
sure. She was like 22 or something.
Yeah. And honestly, I saw like another video of her and her mom got like arrested for like a DUI. And like she was being so obnoxious and so rude. And I'm like, this is somebody that like literally doesn't learn their lesson ever.
Yeah.
So obnoxious. And like, I do joke with Rose sometimes, but I said this to Rose a few times. I can like usually spot these people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not always, but like you just know, like I remember there's been a few times where I've been on planes and like someone sat next to me or in the aisle close to me and you just know they're a difficult person. Like, like I had one instance where it was this mom and her two like kind of like older daughters. They were like in their 20s. And she, you know, had this massive bag of like, I don't know, like goods that she had bought.
Okay.
Like honeys and all kinds of like perishable things, I think, as well. And she just stuck it like right in between her legs on the seats.
Right.
Like, in between the seats. And obviously, like, you know, you can't have anything there.
Yeah, you're supposed to like tuck it under.
Exactly. Just in case on the off chance there isn't a crash, you can easily get out of the plane.
Sure.
So anyway, it's a safety thing. And it's been around for like ever since I've been flying.
Yeah.
So like a long time.
Yeah.
And so she does this. Flight attendant comes over. And I just knew when I saw her and her daughters come in, because I was actually in that seat and one of her daughters like was like, hey, can you switch seats with me so I can sit with my family?
Right.
And I was like, yeah, sure. And like, no, thank you. Nothing,
right.
You know,
just very entitled.
I just knew that whole family had like a little thing. And I was just like, oh. Anyway, the flight attendant comes around and she's like, yep. So ma'am, you're going to have to put your bag in the overhead bins. All the overhead bins like near her were full. So she had to put it in like one a little bit further. So obviously she was like, she didn't want to do it at first. And then she was like, oh, there's some expensive things in here. She's like, no, ma'am, you're going to have to put it up there unless you can fit it under your seat, which you can't. She's like, okay, fine. Puts it up there. And what does she do? The second the unbuttoned seatbelt sign comes on, what does she do? She grabs her fucking bag.
Yeah.
Puts it right back to where it is.
Oh my God.
And keeps it there for the entire flight.
Right.
And you know, the thing is, and some people listening might be like, oh, Daniel, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? I don't, you know, I just know, and I could put money on it, that if there was an incident on the plane.
Right.
And we did have to get off, she would be causing a stink because of her fucking bag at her legs. She would be having issues and causing a holdup for people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just know. And it's like, if you would just follow that rule or why that's in place, which some rules, okay, it's hard. Maybe they don't make sense or whatever. But like something like that where it's like, it makes sense to have clear leg space.
Right.
It's like, oh, and I just know that this kind of person would be like this throughout everything in life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like you can't just just stop being an annoying passenger. You know?
Oh God, those people should be fined. I almost had half a mind to tell this to the flight attendant after I saw that bag. I almost went up to her again and was like, hey, by the way, that lady put her bag back there. But I was like, oh fuck, it's just not worth it.
Are you not allowed to have bags there during the flight though?
You're not supposed to.
Right.
But
technically, I think if I were to give her the benefit of the doubt,
yeah.
Technically, I think it's supposed to be clear during landing and departure.
Yeah, but it wasn't for landing either. She kept it there.
Okay. I mean, she would do that.
Yeah, she would do that. So no, and maybe you can when the plane is like flat.
Right.
You can have your bag maybe kind of like that. But
I think it's probably not recommended.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it was just like really frustrating. I just knew, like, I could just tell this family, like, and it's like when you're trying to all get off the plane as well, and you know that you're supposed to let people go in the aisle in front of you, and then you go, and maybe I'm just like a stickler for rules, but it just really pisses me off when I'm like about to go, and then like this person's like barging their way through, and I'm like,
I know.
We all want to get off this plane.
Yeah.
Like we all want to get off this motherfucking plane.
Yeah.
Anyway, what makes you so special? Why do you have to get off before me? You know.
Goddamn, guys, don't be sitting next to Daniel on the plane.
Do not. I'm very for my plane rules, guys.
Yes, you better be following those plane rules if you're on a flight with Daniel.
God damn.
Okay.
And
although he's the one that didn't follow plane rules when we were going to Toronto. Did we tell this story?
I don't know if we did tell this story. So do you want to tell it?
Okay, well, I'll wow, it's fuzzy already. Jeez, my memory is dying.
Damn.
So we took a flight.
Maybe you're just trying to block that Toronto trip.
Maybe. It was traumatic. So we took a very cheap flight to Toronto. Well, cheap for Canadian standards.
It was
so we got a
though.
flight which was 150 Canadian dollars per person return, which is it's crazy. It's unheard of. So normally a flight to Toronto would be like $600-$500.
I mean, you couldn't even get a round trip to Vancouver back in the day for 150.
Yeah. So it was a very, very cheap flight. Yeah. It's a new airline called Flair Airlines, which is a budget airline, which is quite new.
Yeah.
And so we were pretty excited. You know,
finally getting some budget airlines in Canada.
We're a big fan of the budget airlines. We will rough it out for that cheap fucking plane ticket. Okay.
Yeah, we do.
So, and plus it's not like you're going to fucking, you know, like it's not like it's a 9-hour flight.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's a short flight. So it's
okay?
like, I can be
suck it up, people. Yeah. You don't need to be in business class. Okay. Just fucking suck it up. It's 4 hours. It's fine. We get on this flight. So because it's a budget airline, you have to like pay money if you want to select your seats. Yeah. And what they do, annoyingly enough, is that even if you book together, because you don't normally, even if you don't pay for your seat selection, in other airlines, they will just seat whoever you booked with, like, together. You guys will be sat together if you book together.
Yeah.
But for us, because it's Flair and they want you to pay for the seat booking, they basically sat us separately. Yeah,
they assign you your seat.
So then we look at the, flights and then the seats. And then I was like, ooh, this one is the window seat. Yeah. So I want to sit in the window seat. And then when we come back, Daniel, you can sit in the window seat. So we do this.
Which didn't happen, by the way, guys. I didn't sit in the window seat.
But he still sat in the fucking window seat.
I did.
So listen. Yeah. So we got on the flight. I sat in my window seat. I got 2 people sitting next to me. And then I fall asleep. I was pretty tired. I wake up and then Daniel was in front of me. I look and I see that Daniel is somehow in a different seat on the other side at the window seat with no one beside him. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then I almost grabbed my stuff and went beside him, but I'm glad I didn't because
what had happened is one of the flight attendants came by and I saw that there was a whole row of seats next to me that was completely empty. And usually those are like liquid gold, like people run to those seats, you know? So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to ask the flight attendant. And I was like, hey, can I sit over there by the window? She's like, yep, for sure. No worries. You can do that. I was like, okay, cool. She's like, just wait for the undo seatbelt sign to come off and then you can go over there. I was like, good, perfect. So again, kind of following the rules. I asked permission.
Yeah, you asked, yes.
So then I took my seatbelt off, like literally the second that seatbelt, because I knew that somebody else wouldn't have asked and just gone there. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So what do? I take my seat buckle undone, go and sit there, and not even, because I was going to actually invite Rose to come sit with me because then we'd have the aisle to ourselves.
Yeah.
So I was like getting my stuff ready, and then like literally 2 seconds later, another flight attendant comes over and is like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm just moving over here. There's no one sitting here." And she was like, "Well, you can't do that." And I was like, "Oh, well, the other flight attendant told me that I could." And she was like, "Oh, well, you know, we have very specific like people. We need to know where everyone is on the plane and blah 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 blah." And I said, "Okay, I'm really sorry." She's like, "No, you can sit here. The other girl said you could sit here. That's fine." So then, right after, gets on the intercom and is like, "Hi everyone, attention all passengers, please stay in your assigned seats so that we can keep track of everyone on the plane." Like something like this, and I was just like this in my seat. Like kind of like trying to hide.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God.
Oh
yeah.
God. So good thing you didn't invite me over because
we
would have been
so much
maybe
trouble.
we would have been fined, you know?
We might have been. They might have been like, you know what? Look at these two just doing whatever. And then, you know, I was so looking forward to also having the window seat on the way back.
But I had many moments of you guys heard. Okay. I had to beg Daniel for that window seat.
Oh God.
Okay.
Honestly, Rose was a near a mental breakdown in the airport and literally looked at me almost in tears. I love this line. Just, can you just throw me a bone, Daniel? Can I just please have that window seat? I said, Rose, you've been through enough on this trip. You can have the fucking window seat. Fine. It's fair.
But that time they sat us together for some reason.
Yeah, that's very true, which was nice, you know?
It was nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was very good.
Anyway, guys, is there another story? Or
well, there is, but I think, you know, do we really want to dive into it? I'm not sure. It's about Amazon.
we could talk about it for a few seconds. Okay. We love bashing Amazon.
True. I guess. And the reason this story has come up, like a lot of people are kind of like talking about it, is like, you know, Amazon's business model, how they've thrived and also how they've destroyed other businesses. Yeah. Because, you know, a lot of like large retailers have gone out of business. Like it's kind of, that model is failing. I mean, it's not a other than like I think Walmart and a few others, but like ultimately like the big retail, like the like Zellers, Kmart, all those,
I
like,
see. Yeah.
You know those old ones that used to be around, and the big like department stores.
Right.
I feel like they are a dying breed because more and more people are shopping online, and Amazon was one of the pioneers of this. It's interesting, but now that they've like caused a lot of these, you know, big box retailers to go out of business.
Now they're opening.
Yeah, now they're apparently going to be opening department stores in the US.
Wow. How do we feel about this?
I don't know. I think part of the reason why I think that they're doing this as well is I guess there's some products that people might want to see or try or, you know, because there are some things that it's more difficult to order online.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
I mean, I guess they're just taking over the world. Now everything's going to be Amazon. I feel like we're getting more and more to that point where this world is just being owned by like two companies.
Well, this is it. You know, it's funny because I remember, and this was years ago in business school.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're going to talk about.
Right?
Yeah.
Where basically they looked at like a shitload of brands globally. Yeah. And it was shocking, guys. It was honestly shocking. But it was like they looked at the biggest brands that you all know. Like just there was probably like 50 on this page or more than that, maybe like 100. And they were all owned by 10 companies.
Right. I know. It's crazy.
And I was like, this is fucked up. Because you know, there's like that whole argument about like, you know, part of like government control within capitalism is like to not allow, you know, unrestricted monopolies and you know, oligopolies, that kind of stuff. But it still seems to go on. Do you know what I mean? Like,
in like a different form.
Yeah, in a different form. And I think, you know, Amazon's a perfect example. Like this is a company that just keeps growing.
Yeah, this is like literally going to be a monopoly type of situation, I feel like.
I mean,
which is a bit scary.
It is scary. I mean, do they really have that many like big competitors in this space?
No, not in this space.
Yeah. So I don't know.
But I guess it wouldn't be a monopoly because they're not the only retailer.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we keep going this route, they'll be one of the only big retailers. Yeah, I mean, they pretty much destroyed eBay because like eBay was their like kind of competitor in the very beginning. Yeah. And I used to use. It's still there, but like it's definitely not huge compared to Amazon. Because I used to use eBay when I was like in high school or something. Yeah. And then slowly but surely, I just started using Amazon more. I don't even know when it happened. It's just like I just was following the crowd like a fucking zombie, you know?
And I actually do remember eBay as well.
Yeah.
Like, but again, they never had such a big impact. I feel
Yeah.
Well, they were big back then.
They were.
Like, it's kind of like it's weird because you'll get like, it's the same. Like, look at the whole like Google versus Yahoo story. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. What happened to Yahoo?
Because Yahoo was like a big search engine at one point.
It wasn't that big though, was it?
It was a competitor with Google.
Really?
Though.
Okay.
And then Google's just kind of like blown them out of the water.
There's no room for 2 apparently.
Yeah, apparently there's not. So
yeah. Oh God, what's happening?
I don't know.
I mean, we're kind of getting to that point where we're like, yeah, I guess we're just talking about online, but like, you know, we only have basically YouTube for video. Yeah. I mean, kind of like for that kind of specific video.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I guess live streaming, maybe it's a little bit more, but you know, maybe Twitch has the biggest, you know?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. It's crazy. But anyway, just a little side note that they're going to be taking over. Apparently they're going to do department stores that are much smaller than the standard ones.
Okay.
So apparently the standard, like typically they will occupy like 100,000 square feet, which is fucking huge.
Oh my God.
But they're going to occupy more like 30,000. So they are going to be a little bit smaller. More.
Are they going to allow
tailored.
their employees to use bathrooms?
No. There's going to be no bathrooms on site. And
where are they opening these things?
It's going to be in the US, I think, is where they're launching it first. Speaking of bathrooms, my one of my friends worked for a salon in Australia, and this is another thing. Like, yeah, the person that owned the salon was like this quite wealthy businesswoman or whatever, and she was crazy. She was like wouldn't allow the employees to like use the tap water and stuff. They had to like bring their own bottles of water.
What?
Yeah, and then like
because what, tap water is too expensive?
I don't know. I'm not sure. And she like also was like didn't want to have kids, like their people bringing their kids to come to the spa, like. Even if the kid was just sitting in the lobby and stuff, because she didn't want like that to be part of their like brand
image?
Or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, which I guess
that
kind
part
of.
I might be able to understand if it's like adults only.
Yeah, and I think there was something with the washroom as well. Like they weren't supposed to use the washroom there. Like it was only for like guests or whatever. Like the staff.
My God,
I can't remember, but it was very, very messed up.
That sounds fucked up.
Yeah, and yet this person was a fucking successful businesswoman. This is what I hate. Like deep down, guys. Like deep down. Again, I have nothing wrong with people being successful, but I want like my little heart desires like nice people that run good ethical businesses, people that are good to their employees, people that treat other people and the companies they work with respect and integrity. Those are the businesses I want to see succeed.
I know, but the world doesn't work that way, Dan.
I know, and yet you see
it's the evils that succeed.
There are some businesses like that succeed though. There are
they as big as Amazon and Google and Facebook?
It's like that whole
look
argument.
At all the CEOs of all these companies.
I know.
What do they have in common? They don't have a soul.
Okay. It's a tough one, but I just feel like you don't need to be that way to be successful in business.
I mean, the way that our system is designed, I think you might have to be a little bit that way, like a little bit to be successful.
Well, I think I do
think so.
Was it you that was being like, I bet you, like, well, and again, quote unquote, but you know, all the billionaires out there, no matter how ethical, I wonder what.
Yeah, you have to fuck over some people.
You have to fuck over a certain number of people.
Yes, like is there an ethical billionaire? I'm not sure.
That's a good question.
I don't think so. I don't know.
And on that positive note, guys, we are ending today's episode.
Guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Yeah. We had a lot of fun with the OnlyFans story and the Hasan Piker.
Oh, Hasan.
Call me.
Hi, Hasan.
Mr. Piker, I'd like a tour of your $3 million home.
Rose Piker.
I think you
has a good ring to it.
Has a good ring to it. I think you have a few too many rooms for one person.
Anyways, I think we can move in.
I'll give you a Canadian citizenship. Let's face it. You prefer Canada.
Exactly. Come move here. The houses in Calgary, you can still get a $3 million house.
And it would be a lot bigger, apparently.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. Like 3,000 square feet is a lot. Huge. That's huge.
Yeah, it's huge.
Anyways.
Yeah. But anyways,
thank you so much for listening, guys. Yeah. Don't forget to check us out on Patreon. It's patreon.com/the SaVeg Podcast. Yeah. And what else should they do, Daniel?
If you guys are watching these videos on YouTube, don't forget to hit that thumbs up, hit subscribe if you're not already. Again, leave us some comments in the comment section, guys. We do read those. We love to hear from you.
And maybe a hate comment that we can react to in our Patreon exclusive.
Well, I don't want to get hate comments.
I know that's true. I mean, let's face it, we still get it.
Yeah, that's very true. We will. Also, I mean, if you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, if you're not already, just hit that follow button.
Give us a rating.
Exactly, give us a rating. That will give you updates when we release new episodes. And that's
pretty much it, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
And we'll see you next time. Bye.